Welcome guys to my new course. In this course we will talk about the introduction to computer science using the C programming language. So first of all, like my video, subscribe to my channel, and let's start our course. Let's start with what is C. C is a general purpose programming language created by Dennis Ritchie in 1972. It is a very popular language despite being old. The main reason for its popularity is because it is a fundamental language in the field of computer science. C is strongly associated with Unix, as it was developed to write the Unix operating system. This is the importance of C and what is C. Now let's see why it's important to learn C. Because C is the one of the most popular language in the world. If you know C, you will have no problem learning other popular languages like Java, Python, C++, and other language, as that syntax is similar. C is very fast compared to other programming languages like Java and Python, and C is very versatile. It can be used in both applications and technologies. Now let's see the syntax or the first program using the C programming language. In the first line we have hashtag include stdio.h, it's the header. In the second line we have integer main, it's a main function. In the line 3 I open the braces. Line 4 we have a statement, printf, it's an output, printf hello world. And in the line 5 we have the return 0, and in line 6 it's the end of the body. I close the braces. Line 3, 4, 5, 6 is the body of the program. Let's see the explanation of this example. Let's start with the line 1. In line 1 we have hashtag include stdio.h. This is a header file library that lets us work with input and output function, stdio I input or output, such as printf function used in line 4. Header files add functionality to C programs. We have another header files like stdio, math.h, string.h, etc. Note, we can put a black line between line 1 and line 2. See in yours white space, but we use to make the code more readable. In line 2, other thing that always appear in C program is main. Main, this is called a function, main function. Any code inside its curly braces will be executed. Every code inside these braces is the body of the program. In line 4, we have the printf function. It is a function used to output or print the text to the screen. In our example, it will output hello world. In line 5, we have return 0. It's the end of the main function. In line 6, do not forget to add the closing curly braces to actually end the main function. This is all about the first program in C using the C programming language, using the header, the main function, and the body. Now let's talk about the most important format specifier. It's very important in the C program. The format specifier in C is used to tell the compiler about the type of the data to printed or scanned in input and output operations. What's mean the type of the data? Type of data can be an integer, float, character, etc. This is what mean type of data. And to declare the type of data, we need to use the format specifier. They always start with a percentage symbol, and are used in the formatted string in functions like printf, scanf, and sprintf, etc. Now let's see the table of the format specifier. %C is used for the character type. %D is used for the integer type. %E is for the scientific notation of floats. %F is used for the float type. G for the float type with the current precision. %I for the integer. LD or LI for the long. LF double. LU for unsigned integer. We need to use to show all this in the next video when I need to talk about the variables and the data type. Now let's talk about the input and output. Input, it's mean when I need to give a data for the computer, I will use the keyboard, for example. This is the input. Output, when the computer give me the data, it print the data, for example, on the screen. This is the output. C language has standard libraries that allow input and output in a program. The stdio.h or standard input-output library in C that has methods for input and output. C language provides some tools using which we can format the input and output. They are generally inserted between the percentage sign and the format specifier symbols. Some of them are as follows. We have the minus, it's signed left alignment. 2. A number after percentage specifies the minimum file width to be printed in the characters are less than the size of the width. The remaining space is filled with the space, and if it is greater than, it is printed as it's without truncations. 3. We have the period. It's a point. It's simple separated filed with the precision. This is what's mean input and output. Input, when the user gives the data to the computer, like we use the keyboard, for example, and output when I need to print the data, we need to use a screen or printer, for example. This is the difference between input and output. Printf in C, printf is the input. Printf, sorry, it's the output to print all the data on the screen. In C language, printf function is used to print formatted output to the standard output std out, which is generally the console screen. The printf is used in the C program to print the data on the screen. The printf function is a part of the C standard library stdio.h, and it can allow formatting the output in numerous ways. Let's see the syntax of the printf function. We write printf, I open braces, and we write first the formatted string and the argument list. This is the syntax of the printf. Let's see this example. We have hashtag include stdio.h, teacher main, and the printf hello geeks. And finally return 0. This program will output on the screen hello geek. This is an example of printf function. Specifier, it is the character that denotes the type of data. Some commonly used specifier are %D for printing integer, F for the floating or the point number, C for the character, S for the string, P for printing memory address, and X for printed hexadecimal values. This is the specifier when I need to use when I need to write a code. Now let's talk about the scanf and C. Scanf is the input stream in the C programming language. In the C programming language, scanf is a function that stands for scan formatted string. It is used to read data from stdin, standard input stream, it's mean usually from the keyboard, and then write the result into the given arguments. It accepts character, string, numeric data from the user using the standard input. Scanf also used to use a format specifiers like printf. This is the format specifier when I need to use any printf function and scanf function. The syntax of scanf, it's integer scanf, const character, and format. Now let's talk about the new line. When I need to write a code and I need to put two lines. To insert a line, you can use the /n character like this examples. These two examples, we can write like this or like this. This code put the hello world in line, and I'm learning C in another line. And this in this example, he put hello world in the first line. I'm learning C in the second line, and it is awesome in the third line. Single lines comment in C. When I need to write a comment like this in the C program, we need to use this two slash. It's a single line comment start with two forward slashes like this. Any text between the slash and the end of the line is ignored by the compiler, will not be executed. We have another way to write a comment in C like this. It's a multi-line comment, start with the slash and start and end with the start slash. Any text between this will be ignored by the compiler. It not be executed like this. This is an example. This is a comment and this is a comment also. Now let's see the keyword in the C programming language. We have, this is the keyword in C. Auto, break, case, char, const, continue, default, do, double, else, enum, extern, float, for, go to, if, integer, long, register, return, short, signed, size of, static, switch, type, def, union, void, while, volatile. We need to use this keyword when we need to write a code in C. We will use this in another videos when we need to solve problems or in examples. The keyword is very important in the programming language. Now let's talk about the special symbols. When we used it's used when I need to write the code also. We have the brackets. It's opening and closing the brackets are used as array element reference. This indicates single and multi-dimensional subscripts. Parentheses. These special symbols are used to indicate the function calls and function parameters. Braces. These opening and ending curly braces mark the start and the end of a block of code containing more than one executable statement. The comma. It is used to separate more than one statement, like for separating parameters in function calls. The colon. It is an operator that essentially invokes something called an initialization list. We have also the semicolon. It is known as a statement terminator. It indicates the end of the logical entity. That's why each individual statement must be ended with a semicolon. The asterisk, it is used to create a pointer variable and the multiplication of a variable. Assigned operator or equal, it is used to assign a values and for a logical operation validation. The preprocessor or the hashtag, the processor is a microprocessor that is used to automatically by the compiler to transform your program before actually compilation. The period is used to access members of a structured union, and the tilde is the bitwise once complemented operator. This is all the special symbols used in a C programming code. C variables. A variable in C language is the name associated with some memory location to store data of different types. There are many types of variables in C depending on the scope, storage class, lifetime, type of data they store, etc. A variable is the basic building block of a C program that can be used in expression. If variables are containers for storing data values like numbers and characters. In C, there are different types of a variable defined with different keywords. For example, int is an integer. It stores integers. It's a whole numbers without decimals, such as, for example, 1, 2, 3, or -1, -2, -3. Float, it stores floating point numbers with a decimals number, such as, for example, 19.99 or -19.99. We have also char or characters. It stores single characters such as A or B, and the characters are surrounded by a single quotes, like here A and B. The character can be a small character or a capital character, and we can put also another characters like the hashtag, add, etc. Now, how to declare or create a variable. To create a variable, specify the type and assign a value. This is the syntax. First, we have a definition, data type, and the variable name, and we have the initialization, it's the value. Data type, variable name, equal value defines a single variable, but we can define a multiple variable. We put the data type, integer, character, float, the variable name, for example, x or y, number, name. This is the variable name 1 and the variable name 2. For example, integer x and y. It helps to define a multiple variable. This is how to declare and how to create a variables in C programming language. We need to use this syntax when I need to solve a problems in next video. Now the C variable declaration. Variable declaration is C tells the compiler about the existence of the variable with the given name and data type. When the variable is declared, compiler automatically allocates the memory for it. The data type, it's a type of data that a variable can store, like an integer, character, float. Variable name is the name of the variable given by the user, and the value assigned to the variable by the user. This is all about the variable declaration. Now the C variable definition. In the definition of C variable, the compiler allocates some memory and some value to it. A defined variable will contain some random garbage value till it is not initialized. We have an example. Integer var. The integer is the data type. Var is the variable name. Another example, char var2. Char is a data type and var2 is a variable name. Now let's talk about the C variable initialization. Initialization of a variable is the process where the user assigns some meaningful value to the variable. For example, integer var is a variable definition. Var equal 10 is the initialization. I give the var, the variable, a value equal to 10. Or for example, we can write like this, integer var and another line var equal to 10, or we can write like this, integer var equal to 10. We can put equal 10 here. We can put it in another line. Now let's see the rules for naming a variable in C language. You can assign any name to the variable as long as it follows the following rules. 1. A variable name must only contain alphabets or digits and underscore. 2. A variable name must start with an alphabet or an underscore only. It cannot start with a digit. Not white space and allowed within the variable name. And 4. A variable name must not be any reserved word or keyword. We need to use this rule when we need to solve a problems and exercise in the next video to see how to initialize and how to define a variable when I write a code. Constants. If you don't want others to change existing variable values, you can use the const keyword. This will declare the variable as a constant, which means unchangeable and read-only. Look at this example. We have const integer mynum equal to 15. Mynum is the variable name, integer is a data type, const is a keyword, 15 is the value of the variable. Mynum will always be 15 mynum equal to 10. It's an error assigned of read-only variable mynum. The variable name cannot be start with a number. Now let's talk about the data type in C programming language. Each variable in C has an associated data type. It specifies the type of data that the variable can store, like integer, character, floating, double, etc. Each data type requires different amount of memory and has some specific operations which can be performed over it. The data type is a collection of data with values having fixed value, means as well as its characteristic. The data type is a collection of data with values having fixed value, meaning as well as a characteristic. Let's see this table. We have three types of data type: primitive data types, user-defined data types, and derived data types. The primitive data type are the most basic data type that are used for representing simple values such as integer, float, character. The user data type are defined by the user himself, and the derived data types, the data types that are derived from the primitive or built-in data types are referred to a derived data type. This is the three types of the data types, and now let's see the data types in C, we have the primary data type, integer, character, floating point, double, and void. The derivative data type, function, array, pointer, and reference. And the user-defined data type, class, structure, union, type def, etc. Now let's talk about the basic data types. The data type specifies the size and the type of information the variable will store. In this tutorial, we will focus on the most basic ones. We have the integer. The size of the integer is 2 or 4 bytes. It stores whole number without decimals, like the number 1. Float. The size of the float is 4 bytes. It stores fractional numbers containing 1 or more decimal for storing 6 to 7 decimal digits, like 1.91 is a float number. Double, the size of the double data type is 8 bytes. It stores a fractional number containing 1 or more decimals. And the character, the size of the character is 1 byte. It stores a single character, letter, number, or a SCCII values, like the capital A. This is the basic data type. Now the basic format specifiers. There are different format specifiers for each data type. Here are some of them. We have the percentage %d and percentage %i is used for integer. Percentage %f and percentage %big is used for the float. Percentage %lf is used for double. Percentage %c for characters and percentage %s for string. This is the basic format specifier that we need to use when we solve the problems and we write the code in C programming language. Now let's talk about the operators in C programming language. An operator in C can be defined as the symbol that help us to perform some specific mathematical or relational, conditional, or logical computation on values and variable. This is the C operator. We have the unary operator, plus plus or minus minus. The binary operator, we have the plus, minus, multiplication, division, modulo, greater than, less than, equal to, not equal to, and or, etc. And the ternary operator. Let's start to talk about the arithmetic operations in C. The arithmetic operators are used to perform arithmetic or mathematical operations on operand. Let's see this table. We have first plus, it adds two numbers, like for example a plus b. Minus, it subtracts right operand from left operand, like a minus b. Multiply two numbers or numeric value, like a times b. Divide, it divides two numeric value, a divided by b. Modulo, it returns the remainder after driving the left operand with the right operand, a modulo b. Plus is a numeral plus used to specify the positive value, plus a, the syntax is plus a. Unary minus, it flips the sign of the value, minus a. Plus plus is an increment, it increases the value of the operand by 1, like a plus plus, and the decrement, it decreases the value of the operand by 1, it's a minus minus. This is the arithmetic and operations in C programming language. Now let's see the relational operators in C. The relational operator in C are used for the comparison of the two operators. Like, for example, less than, it returns the value if the left operand is less than the right operand, else it is false. A, like here, A is less than B. Greater than, it returns true if the left operand is greater than the right operand, else it is false, like A greater than B. Less than or equal, it returns true if the left operand is the less than or equal to the right operand, else it is false also. A is less than or equal to B. Greater than or equal to, it returns true if the left operand is greater than or equal to right operand, else it is false. A greater than or equal to B, and equal to, it returns true if both the operand is equal, like A equal to B. And finally, not equal to, it returns true if the both of operand are not equal, like A is not equal to B. Now the logic operator in C. The logic operators are used to combine two or more conditions or the complement of evaluation of the original condition in consideration. Like, for example, logical and this is the symbol of and. It returns true if both the operands are true, for example, A and B, or returns true if both or any of the operand is true, A or B. Not returns true if the operand is false, not A. This is also the logical operator in C. Now let's solve this small exercise about the variables and operators. Write a program to add two numbers. Let's start to write the code. First, all the C program starts with hashtag include stdio.h and integer main. All the C program start with this, include stdio and integer main. Now first, let's define two number. I need to add two number. Let's define two number. We need to put the integer, the data type is an integer, and the name of the value is number 1 and number 2. Integer number 1, integer number 2. Here I need to add two number, I need to use this sum. I need to define this sum and integer sum. Now let's tell the user to give me two number. I need to use the printf enter first number. And the line is end with the semicolon. Printf enter the first number is the output. Now scanf, here the user will give me the first number, percentage d, and number 1. In this two line, I tell the user to give me the first number, percentage d, because here I need to work with an integer. Now let's tell him to give me the second number. Also printf enter the second number. Scanf also percentage percentage t and number 2. And the line ends with a semicolon. Now the user was entered the number 1, number 2, and now I need to calculate the sum of this of these numbers. Sum is equal to number 1 plus number 2. This is the formula of the sum. Number 1 plus number 2. And now I need to print the value of the sum on the screen. I need to use the printf function. Sum of the number 1 and number 2 is equal to, also we have an integer, equal to the result is an integer also, number 1, number 2, and sum. And finally our code is end with a return 0. This is a small exercise to write a program to add two numbers. In this program I use the variable name, the operators, and how to declare and a variable, and how to calculate the sum. Exercise 1. Write a C program to enter two numbers and perform all arithmetic operators. How to solve this question? First of all, I need to declare two numbers using the integer number 1 and number 2. Second step, I need to declare the arithmetic operator integer. We have sum, sub, multiplication, and mod for modulo. And I need to use the float data type for the division. Why? Because the division is a decimal number. It contains comma. Here I declared the numbers and I declared the arithmetic operator. Next step, I need to tell the user to give me two numbers using the printf and the scanf functions. Next step, I need to use the formula for the sum. I need to put a formula for the sub, multiplication, and mod, and division. Like, for example, for the sum equal number 1 plus number 2. For the multiplication, we put, for example, it's number 1 times number 2. This is how this is the formula. And finally we need to display the result on the screen. We need to use we need to see how to write this code, and let's start. First of all the C programs start with hashtag include studio.h and int main, and I open the braces. Now let's start to declare the two numbers, integer number 1 and number 2. We can put integer number 1 and integer number 2 in the same line, and we can put integer number 1 in the first line and integer number 2 in the second line. And don't forget to put the semicolon in the end of the line. Now let's declare the arithmetic operators integer sum sub, mult, and mod. And don't forget the semicolon. Now the division, float, division. Now let's tell the user to give me two numbers. Printf enter any two number and a semicolon. Now scanf percentage d for the integer, number 1 and number 2. Now the number is entered by the user. Now let's put the arithmetic operators. Let's start with the sum. Sum is equal to number 1 plus number 2. Sub equal number 1 minus number 2 mult equal number 1 times number 2. Div equal number 1 divided by number 2. And finally mod equal number 1 modulo number 2. This is all the arithmetic operations. Now let's print the result on the screen using the printf function. Printf function, it's the output. It's print all the data on the screen. Let's start with the sum. Printf sum is equal to percentage d, because it's an integer. This /n is used to put the data in a new line. And sum. The result of the sum is printed on the screen. Now let's to print the multiplication, division, and the modulo on the screen also, like this line. And let's start with printf now the difference is equal to percentage d also, because it's an integer, and sub. Now the product equal to also percentage d and multiplication. Printf quotient is equal to percentage f because it's a float. It's a float number. And div for division. And finally the modulo. Printf modulo is equal to percentage d and mod. And finally, my code is end with the return 0. This is our C program to enter two numbers and perform all the arithmetic operators. Now guys, let's run our code to see the result. Give me two number 5, 8. This is the sum, the difference, the product, quotient, and modulos for 5 and 8. In my code, I declare the numbers and the arithmetic operator. I tell the user to give me two numbers. Here I used all the arithmetic operator and I print it on the screen. Exercise 2. Write a C program to input length and width of a rectangle and calculate the perimeter of the rectangle. How to solve this problem? First of all, I need to declare the length and the width of the rectangle. Second step, I need to tell the user to enter a value of the length and a value of the width. Third step, I need to calculate the perimeter of the rectangle. I need to use the formula perimeter equal 2 times length plus width. And finally, I need to print the result of the perimeter on the screen. But here, when I need to declare the width and the length, I need to use the float data type because the value of the length and the width can be a decimal number. For example, 3.5. I need to use the float. Now let's start our C program, and I will start with hashtag include studio.h integer main and I open the braces. Now float length and width and perimeter. Second step, I need to tell the user to give me the value. Printf enter length of the rectangle. Scanf percentage f because it's a float. Now also I need to tell the user to give me the value of the width. Enter of the rectangle. Now scanf %f Now let's calculate the perimeter of the rectangle, and I need to use this formula, perimeter equal 2 times length plus width. And finally, let's print the value of the perimeter on the screen using the printf function. Perimeter of rectangle is equal to percentage f, because it's a float, units, and perimeter. And finally, all the C program ends with the return 0. Now guys, let's run our code to see the result and enter the length of the rectangle, for example 2.3 and 6, for example. The perimeter of the rectangle is 16. This is our C program to calculate the perimeter of a rectangle. First of all, I need to declare the perimeter, the length, and the width. Second step, I need to tell the user to give me a value of the length and a value of the width. And I need to calculate the perimeter and print the result on the screen. And don't forget to put the semicolon in the end of the line. Because, for example, if I delete the semicolon from here, my code tell me we have an error. Now exercise 3, write a C program to tell the user to enter the radius of a circle and display the perimeter and area of the circle. We will start with declare the area and the perimeter and the radius. And I need to declare also the P. P is equal to, okay, first I need to use the float data type to declare the area, perimeter, radius, and P. P is equal to 3.14. This is our first step. Second step, I need to tell the user to give me the radius of the circle. Next step, I need to calculate the perimeter and the area. The formula of the perimeter is equal to 2 times P times radius. And the formula of area is equal to P times radius times radius. And finally, I need to print the results of the perimeter and the result of the area on the screen. Let's write our code to see how to calculate the area and perimeter of a circle. First of all, and like all the C programs, we start with hashtag includes studio.h, integer main, open the braces, and let's start to declare the perimeter, the area, and the radius. float, area, perimeter, radius, and p equal to 3.14, and the first step is done. Second step, printf enter the radius, scanf percentage f because it's a float, and the radius. Now let's calculate the radius and perimeter. Perimeter is equal to 2 times p times radius. Area is equal to p times radius times radius. Now let's print the result on the screen using the printf function. The perimeter is percentage f and perimeter. Printf, the area is percentage f also and area. And finally, return 0. This is our C program to enter the radius of a circle and calculate the perimeter and the area of this circle. Now guys, let's run our code to see the result. Enter the radius, for example 3. This is the perimeter and this is the area of this circle. In this problem, first of all, I declared the area, the perimeter, and the radius and the p. Next step, second step, I tell the user to give me the radius. Third step, I calculate the perimeter and the area. And the last step, I print all the results on the screen. Exercise 4. Write a C program to tell the user to enter 3 integers and display the average. First of all, I need to declare the 3 numbers, integer, for example, x, y, z. Second step, I need to tell the user to give me this, a value of these 3 numbers. And finally, I need to calculate the average and display the average on the screen. Let's start our code. First, include studio.h integer main integer x, y, z, and printf enter 3 numbers. Scanf teacher I, and percentage I. and we have X, Y, Z. Now let's calculate the average. Average, it's a float average, because the average can be a decimal number, is equal X plus Y plus Z divided by 3. And finally, printf the average is percentage f, because it's a float, average. And finally, return 0. And this is our C program to enter 3 number and calculate the average. First, I need to declare the 3 number. I need to tell the user to give me the value of the 3 numbers. And I need to calculate the average and print the value on the screen.